Did you know they're making another Oceans movie? Oceans 14, starring George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts? Yes, the cast budget has just been approved, and that money that George Clooney is surely going to get paid from doing this movie will now be carried over from Los Angeles, Hollywood in America, over to rural France, which is what this video is about, highlighting the blatant, demented evil. I don't even want to call it hypocrisy. The demented evil of liberals, particularly liberal elites like George Clooney. Now, as we know, George Clooney was used as a talking head for the most recent presidential election. He was the one that was put out in front to fundraise for Joe Biden and then also to tell Joe Biden to step down. So again, he was heavily involved. And we know him, along with his wife, push all this liberal ideology, including things like diversity and all of the financial obligations. California, in particular, likes to obligate itself to people that aren't even, not only not from the state, but not from or should be in the country. And as a result of those things, among many other things, California is a cesspool to live in. And we know Hollywood in general, is just filled with pedos. And so George Clooney, as a result, instead of staying in the muck that he has enabled and participate in perpetuating, he's going to take his wife and kids over to rural France to live on an immaculate farm. And if you're looking at the video, you can see a photo of his house. That's where he's going to be living. So again, while all you stupid liberal fans of his cheerlead him and cheerlead those like him, they're getting out of Dodge. And again, you can look up this information yourself. Rural France is mighty white, to say the least. And again, this is what you consistently get with these kinds of people. Like you have the Dave Chappelle's of the world who go to Saudi Arabia and talk about his free speech. Those those horrible pro-censorship races over there. And meanwhile, you see who Dave Chappelle's married to, not somebody black, and where he lives and who he lives around. Not around a lot of black people, and even protested against affordable housing being around where he resided. But this is what these people consistently do. They help create the shit that everybody else has to live in, and then when they have the means to do so, they up and leave. And you don't just get this with liberal elites like George Clooney, but you get this with liberals who have any amount of money that allows them to be able to, move from California to go to Texas, or to go to Florida, or to go to Arizona. And that's one of the things that make liberals genuinely horrible. That they will create situations that they advocate for and pretend to be so for it. But then you will see them up and leave the mess they helped create it, to then eventually bring the mess to where they relocate, while the entire time act completely oblivious, like they didn't do nothing. That's what makes me despise them and state that there's no coexistence with them. Because they refuse to live in the mess that they create. They refuse to allow people who aren't liberal to segregate. And so, ultimately, what else can you do with them? Can't say it on YouTube. But, yeah, he's a scumbag. just like the rest. And the people who support him are utterly retarded because this is what people of that ilk do. They'll create the mess, advocate for the mess, and then go elsewhere. And George Clooney is just one example out of many.